Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sarel van Grenen, aka Mr. VG, and I am excited to be with you today. Today we are specifically going to look at the geometry of triangles. You should have, hopefully, already looked at the geometry of straight lines. That was the previous chapter, but if you haven't watched it, man, after this video, quickly move over to that chapter because we are going to use quite a number of those theorems and a lot of that thinking to answer the questions in this specific chapter. So today's video is specifically a theory video about triangles, specifically about the classification of triangles. Now, I love to do my classification of triangles according to two things. First of all, angles, or secondly, sides. Now, both of these have their amazing applications, but let's quickly have a look at it. And as we go through it, we will have a look at, but which ones are important where? So let's start with angles, okay? They've got basically three types of triangles that we are going to look at. The first one is an acute angled triangle. In other words, all the angles have a magnitude that's less than 90 degrees. Very, very cute. Okay, now, sorry, that was a really bad joke, but it's okay. We're getting into this. The second one, which is a really, really important one, is the right angle triangle. At the moment, you might not understand why it is so important, but the right angle triangle is a 90-degree triangle, which in mathematics is going to be like super important because we are going to use a lot of different theorems specifically related to right angle triangles. So I cannot stress how important it is. Right angle triangles, 90-degree angle. Then we look at the very obtuse one, an obtuse angled triangle. So in other words, there is one angle that's larger than 90 degrees. Okay. For us in grade 8, well, it's not really so hectically important because we're not going to use it that much. But interestingly enough, in grade 11, you are going to look at, sometimes we're going to get two different answers. Some of them is going to be leading us towards acute angle triangles, and the other one is going to lead us towards obtuse angle triangles. So there we've got our three basic triangles according to angles. Then we look at the sides, okay? So when we look at the sides, we also have got three basic types of triangles depending on the length of the sides. The first one is a scalene triangle, which basically means all three sides have different lengths. Not really much importance for us. But the isosceles triangle is a very, very, very important triangle later on in this chapter, where the size of two or the lengths of two sides are exactly the same. And then we have also one of our favorites, the equilateral triangle, which means all three sides are the same length. Why is it important? Because, interestingly, in mathematics, there's a relationship that exists between the magnitude of the angles and the length of the sides of a triangle. Now, this is a very important little slide, a very important part of this video, not so much for grade 8, but definitely for grade 9, 10, 11, and 12. So what is the relationship? Well, the side or the length of the side always relates to the opposite angle. In other words, if I've got a long side, the opposite angle is going to be large. Long side, opposite angle large. If it's a short side, then the opposite angle will be small. That means in a triangle like that, which side is going to be the longest side? Now you're like, oh, duh. I can see it's that bottom one. But the interesting thing is, it's because the angle opposite it is the largest. Therefore, it's the longest in the triangle. So how can I ask it in the exam? Well, I can ask you, which angle is the biggest, X or Y? And give me a reason. Now, there's a very interesting one. Give me a reason. Well, Y is larger than X because it is opposite a longer side. Man, this is easy stuff, but it's good to remember. So this video is simply just an introductory video about triangles. So stay tuned for our next video where we are going to dig deeper into all the different theorems around triangles. Have a beautiful day. This is Mr. VG signing out. Keep well. Cheers.